So this is a 3D printed blaster, but because I used the elastic, it's like a crossbow, right? And it's just so quiet.
Oh. Oh. Yep. Yeah.
What's up, Nerfers, and welcome back to my channel, where today I'm taking a look at a fun little blaster called the Satakieli, a name which translates from Finnish as the word for nightingale, hence the worker nightingale mags that it takes. Now, this blaster is designed by Leedle Dynamics, and it's also sold complete if you just want to buy it from Frontline Foam for around $30 US. So I'll leave some suitable links down below for those who want to buy this outright or for those who want to download the files and print it themselves. Now, unlike the English named Nightingale from Worker, this is not a loud, obnoxious flywheel blaster that'll give away your position to everyone on the enemy team. In fact, the loudest part of the Satakieli is probably the dart hitting something, depending on what it's made of. Or even the act of cocking it, because it is 3D printed plastic rubbing against 3D printed plastic. I do have to wonder though whether a hypothetical injection molded version of this would even register a sound at all. The Satakieli is also essentially two different blasters in one. You can optionally add a stock on the back here with a toolless design locking pin. You can add a pump grip up the front and a sight on top, making a compact little SMG blaster that's dead quiet and ready to rock. Or alternatively, you can take the stock off, take the grip off, and top prime it like I was doing in all of the gameplay footage. The entire rest of the blaster also uses those same locking pins that the stock does. So this is an entirely toolless design that doesn't require any kind of screwdriver or anything, aside from maybe your front grip, depending on what type you go with. I think having a completely toolless design is a great idea from Leedle Dynamics, and it does hold together very sturdy as well. It's a very rigid blaster despite just having 3D printed pins in it. Taking a look at some of the close-up design elements, you've got circle patterns on the grip as well as on the front here where you do the top prime. Both of those just make it easier to hold on to. On the side of the blaster, you've got Leedle Dynamics written there, and on this side, you've got Satakieli. You've obviously got a pick rail up top and pick rail down the bottom for your pump grip if you want to use one. Behind the grip, you've got a mag release, which doesn't gravity drop the mag, but when you hold that in, you can easily pull the mag out for mag swaps. I think I do prefer it this way, otherwise you'd have to make the mag fairly loose in there to make it gravity drop, and then it'll wobble around a bit more, making a bit more noise out on the field, where this blaster's main selling point is just how quiet it is. So I wouldn't want a wobbly mag in there at all. Now, how this blaster works is when you prime it back, the elastic gets caught on a catch, and then a dart gets loaded in front of the elastic. So when you pull the trigger, it lifts that elastic up, and then it strikes the back of the dart, sending it out the front, similar to how a crossbow works. Up the front, there's no real rifling or anything like that. It's just a smooth bore barrel. I do think having rifling would severely lower the velocity of this blaster, similar to how it does on a flywheel blaster, simply because the energy's already been spent before it even reaches the front there. So all it can do then is slow down the dart. So therefore, I think my only real complaint with this thing is the scratchy sound that it makes when you prime it. This is otherwise a dead silent blaster, aside from where your dart actually strikes something. I will probably try sanding this a bit, maybe add some dry lubricant on there as well, see if I can dampen that sound a bit. But overall, this is a fairly simple blaster. There's not really much that can go wrong with it. And because of that simplicity, it's also a ridiculously low price of $30 US complete. I would also like to mention that you can put stronger elastic bands on this than the one that it comes with. I think I've seen some people get it up to around 130 FPS with heavier bands. But for now, I think it's time to test it as it comes straight from Frontline Foam. Just before I do the chrono test, guys, I want to show you a downside of working Nightingale mags. So here we have a Sabre T dart that I just grabbed off the ground. Same thing could hold true with an AF Pro dart because they're similar in length. They actually won't fit properly inside a worker Nightingale mag because these are designed to be a slim profile that fits inside of a grip of a pistol to be nice and compact and not give you a bulky grip. So I have stepped down to the old worker darts today, which are a bit shorter. I don't think it matters overly much for this blaster. Just something to keep in mind if you do look at getting this or the old worker Nightingale itself, you have to stick with the shorter short darts. So with that explained, let's fire a few worker darts over the chrono. $68, $64, $64, $63, $75. It doesn't actually like reading them because they're too slow. But I think I did get some numbers there. I'll be able to put them up on the screen for you. I think it was averaging around between 60 and 70 feet per second there. Apparently though, you can get it up to around 130 with a stronger elastic band on there. It just comes with this more durable and weaker one. So to figure out how far this thing shoots, I'm just going to come over here next to the target and shoot the opposite direction. I'm going to shoot 3 shots and then go find where they all landed. Now, I was recently sent an email to an online calculator for range, so I'll give a link to that down below if anyone wants to try that out. I'm more of the old-fashioned way of actually shooting darts. Oh wow, I wasn't even trying to do that, but they've landed very close to each other here. So we've got a maximum range through my rangefinder of 20 meters. Okay guys, for the accuracy test, I've quickly realized that shooting from 20 meters away, even though this can make it 20 meters, the amount of time the dart's in the air for is dramatically curving them to the left because the wind's coming in that way. So I'm gonna have to bring it a little bit closer. I'm gonna be shooting from about 15 meters. It's still a fair bit further than the US Nerfers do all their testing from. And I'm gonna have to aim a little bit higher of the target as well and a little bit to the right just to compensate for that wind. Be aiming for that knot up in the tree there. Here we go. That's a hit, unsurprisingly. Hit. I almost went over the target. Some of these do hit a bit harder than others. Don't hit the tree above. Another high shot. That one's more in the center. Judging by what I saw there, it seems like it has about a 50 centimeter spread, so just larger than the blaster itself from a distance of 15 meters. From 15 meters or 50 feet away, the Satakieli shot a 55 centimeter or 1 foot 9 inch spread for my American viewers. And that was using worker darts, which I've stopped using, but I had to use them because the Nightingale mag that this blaster takes can't fit my longer and better saber darts. Still not a bad spread for a 60 FPS elastic powered Nerf pistol with no rifling. And when I used this against 300 FPS gel blasters that shoot full auto in all the gameplay footage, I hadn't actually chrono tested it yet to know that it only shoots 60 FPS. So going into this video, I may have taken the testing a little more seriously than I needed to. Fundamentally, the Satakieli is a great blaster for kids, it's great for around the house, and it's even great for some office warfare. With its low price tag of only $30 US and the ability to 3D print it at home yourself, it's a very simple blaster with not a lot that can go wrong, and it's completely toolless. You don't need any screws or anything everything to put this thing together. As a blaster to use in gameplay, the firing is dead silent, but the prime is louder than I'd like it to be. That could definitely be improved on, and I think if Leedle Dynamics were to make a rifle style version of this that shoots more around that 180 to 200 FPS that most people use, plus if they managed to eliminate that scratching sound, I think you'd end up with something truly silent that would strike fear into your opponents on the battlefield as they scramble to figure out where that shot came from. Find the files to print it yourself or a link to buy one complete down below. Also, make sure to check out Booper Duper's range calculator that I briefly mentioned earlier in the video. The calculator was pretty much spot on with what I actually got in the maximum range. Anyway guys, that's all I have for you today. Like, comment, subscribe and all of that. Here's 2 other videos you might enjoy. And as always, thank you very much for watching. See ya.